Life, the smooth breakfast is in full swing, and it's that time where we get to talk about what's been going on in the world of sports. You know what we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time. It's all about that and a bag of chips as well. My name is Ayokunmi. Great to have you with us once again for the first installment this week. It's going to be fireworks all the way. So much to talk about in the world of football, tennis, hey, you name it, Formula One. We've got it right here. Joining me to take a look at these stories, give analysis, share the banter around, and just have a smashing good time as always. The one and only Tega Supreme. Tega, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. The Super Falcons of Nigeria. We didn't even need to pray yesterday. Not to
Yep.
talk of praying in tongues.
Mm.
The girls just played what they had to play, what they knew how to play, what got them 9 titles, and now we are going for 10. So this is how to support a team. No need rummaging through people's trash to get players. No need trying to, to take up people's leftovers. No such thing. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the WAFCON this weekend. We'll also touch about some people's captain that did not fly to a funeral. In fact, we will not talk about it, but I will talk about it now. That did not fly to a funeral because he didn't want to be a distraction. And then there are some people that are supporting that person. I don't understand how people think you cannot distract from a funeral. The person is dead. Did you die? No. As long as you're alive, you cannot distract from a funeral. So there's no your family members, they will not even need to defend you if you just do the right thing. Ultimately, what he claimed that he was trying to avoid by not going to the funeral is what's happening now. Because people are now focusing on your absence instead of the funeral. Do you know how shameful that is? There's no excuse in the world, and there's no apology you can give. The only thing he can ultimately do is that he'll start to throw money at the family. But like I said, financially, the family will be okay.
Mm.
It's emotionally that the problem is, and you were not there to support one of your fallen teammates, a captain of a national team. Swear. That's all I can say. All right, moving on to good news. We'll touch a little bit on the FIFA Club World Cup. Um, what else happened this weekend? We'll talk about Wimbledon. Yes, we'll talk about that. And then we'll also talk about Formula One. All that and more coming up inside the locker room this morning. But before we do any talking, Ayokomi, please tell us how we can be a part of the locker room this morning. Even those that want to support people that are badly behaved, let them have access to tell us their thoughts on the matter.
Well, come one, come all. Share your thoughts on that matter and all of the matters really concerning the sporting story we'll be taking this morning. The WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981 0809 444 That is the WhatsApp number. Also, join us on YouTube. Get your front row seats at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Leave your comments in the chat box. We'll take them as we get along. You know how we always do. All right, so Tega, as we alluded to at the beginning, talking about the Super Falcons, of course, record nine-time champions. They opened up their WAFCON Group B campaign with a comfortable, yes, comfortable, comfy, no sweat, 3-0 victory over Tunisia in Casablanca on Sunday.
Huge one. So the tournament started on Saturday with Morocco and Zambia playing out a 2-all draw. I'll come to the Super Falcons soon. But Morocco and Zambia playing out a 2-all draw. Now, I know a lot of people when you're talking about who can win the African Cup of Nations, people talked about Morocco, people talked about South Africa, but not a
Mm,
lot of people really touched on Zambia. Because they are the dark horses. They have a team that can bully people. And yes, it took Chebak scoring a fantastic worldie to get Morocco the draw that was required for them in the first match. But Zambia has a great team. Remember when they qualified for the Olympics and yes,
yeah.
they didn't have the best of showing at the World Cup, but they have a fantastic team and they can prove to be the dark horses. All they need to do is get out of the group phase and then take each match as it comes. And before you know it, Zambia is qualifying. So that was a good start. But the Super Falcons came on the scene yesterday, and some people say, yeah, the quality of opposition is different. But look, you beat the team in front of you.
Very true.
And so Super Falcons was drawn in the same team with Tunisia. They came out of the blocks really strong. I think we scored the first goal in the 4th minute. It was a header. She went there. Assistant Oshrala went down low to put that ball in the back of the net to start it off. Uh, Nigeria did score a third goal in the first half. And that first half was disjointed and disorganized. They didn't really look like a team and put together. But they scored a third goal that was cancelled. I still don't understand why it was cancelled. They're saying foul in the build-up. I did not see any foul. I just saw people hustling for the ball and the ball ending up in the back of the net. But hey, that goal was cancelled. Ultimately, Nigeria won by a really comfortable margin, 3-0. So brilliant start for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Also, I wanted to mention big ups to Rinsola, who scored the second goal. You also know that that's her debut at the tournament. So she starts in, she, first of all, the fact that she got picked for the tournament, because I remember I was calling her to do something and she said, Tega, I don't know that she hasn't been drawn in the Super Falcons team. And so she doesn't want to come out as a Super Falcons when she's not sure her name is on the list. Something
Right.
along those lines. And then her name is now on the list. She gets on the team sheet in the starting lineup, and then she scores her first goal. So next time when I speak to her, I'm just going to allude to that. You were afraid you were not going to play, and now you're here and you're even scoring. So big ups to her getting her debut goal. Also, someone that had a fantastic performance was Ashley Plumpton, putting her all. I remember she had that long layoff of injury. She plays in Saudi now. So there would have been questions about her form, about her competitive level. But yesterday she dispelled all of that with her performance on the pitch. So the Super Falcons just need to do one thing: play the opponent in front of you, get the results, and before you know it, they could be really accomplishing Mission X. So let's see how it works out for them.
Let's see how it works out. The first step to Mission X has already been accomplished. Well, let's see how far the Super Falcons can go and if they can bring it home at the end of the day. All right, let's switch gears and talk about what's going on in the world of Formula One. It was all about the British Grand Prix this weekend, and Lando Norris said his first home victory at the British Grand Prix was pure joy and pure emotion as well. Take it.
Yes, pure joy, pure emotion, and a lot of chaos. My goodness, the British weather, the London weather came to play. 1 minute it was sunny, the next minute it was rainy. Oh, and they were not racing, they were
Are you there, Tega? Oh dear. What's going on? What's going? Looks like the ghouls are already in the system. What is happening? Tega, your audio, if you can hear me, we can't hear you.
me, Ayo.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Just switching between networks. The race started with, first of all, the water, and people were talking about, oh, it's going to start behind the safety car, that there's too much water. Next thing, they're like, okay, let's just go for it after the first one. So the start of the race, first of all, Max Verstappen leading from pole against the two McLarens before Max Verstappen could blink. He was behind the two McLarens. Oscar Piastri did a good one, hunted him down like prey, and then
Mm,
overtook him comfortably. And after overtaking him comfortably, it was now Norris's turn. Before Max Verstappen knew it, he went from first to third. That was the first one. And then whilst he was still struggling with his car, everybody else started getting looks at him. So it was the craziest of days, with safety cars coming out, with people, let me call it skating, because they were not really racing. That's all I can say. There's some people skating off the track and into the grass. It was so bad. Now Oscar Piastri did everything right from qualifying all the way to the race day, up until after the safety car came out and he needed to restart. So what he did is, I would say, it depends. If they were in a court of law, he could have argued his case, but there was no court of law. There was just a court of stewards. Um,
right.
as the car behind the safety car, sometimes when they say a safety car is ending, you need to slow down for the safety car to go so you can build up space so you know when to take off, because you are the leader of the race. You determine when the race starts. Now, Max Verstappen was eager to restart the race uh, with Piastri, and Max Verstappen does this thing where he puts pressure on the leader. He will drive as close to you as possible, and then because he can't overtake the first car, he will step back. He does it a lot. In fact, it's because of him they now made a law that you have to give space between the first and second car, because he just likes to put pressure on the leader. So he was trying to do that again, and Piastri was trying to hold up the pack, and Piastri just stopped slowly. Max now, in his bid to put pressure on the leader, now overtook him. Of course, the steward said that Oscar Piastri stopped suddenly and he stopped too much. You can't do that, and so it was now Oscar Piastri that was punished. He got a 10-second penalty. If I were McLaren, I will argue it till Jesus comes. But they didn't. They took the 10-second penalty in their stride, and that's why he had to serve his 10-second penalty, and that's how he finished second. Otherwise, he could have finished first. So now he's still the leader in the drivers' championship. I think he's just 5 or 6 points between himself and Lando Norris. Too close for comfort. But brilliant race all round. For Lewis Hamilton, also brilliant race. He was also trying to stay on the podium. He has had 12 consecutive podiums at the British Grand Prix, and he could have done it yesterday. But again, as soon as he was closing down to Hulkenberg, he made a mistake, dipped his leg into his tires into the water, and it took him off the track and brought him back on the track. He was still able to keep his fourth position, but he was not able to challenge Hulkenberg anymore. So brilliant race all around, but congratulations to Lando Norris on winning the chaotic race.
Yes, indeed. And just to add to what you said about Max Verstappen, Tega, I mean, is Max really Max if he doesn't drive close to the edge? Really, actually, is he? I don't think so. But anyways, like you said, congratulations to the winner there, Lando Norris. A great win for him. First victory at the British Grand Prix. Let's take a very, very quick break right now. We'll come back in and talk about what went on at Wimbledon as Carlos Alcaraz survived a Rublev test to stay on course for a hat-trick at the All England Club. Don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned.
Oh, I was hoping we could squeeze in that one because we're not going to talk long in it.
Because we have a couple of seconds before the break. I don't want us to not enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just, after the break, we'll just, and then keep it moving. So avoid any interruption. Let the break just come and be going.
Okay. Let's see what it comes. I thought you said the break was quick. You lied.
Quick is relative.
There's no such thing. Quick is quick.
Quick is relative.
early is relative. Quick is quick.
We'll go into that. Quick is relative. I mean,
no. Quick is quick.
Some people will disagree.
No, early is what is relative. If you say early, you'll be like, by what standard? Or prompt, by what standard? But quick means quick. You can say it's quick, but it's understandable. but quick is not defended.
Okay. Next time I'll say a break, not a quick break, a break. so that there's no confusion.
I'm telling you, we could have just got straight into football now. You've made us to dabble in Wimbledon.
Don't worry, we will.
I'm not worried. That's so papa.
That's what we run on.
Any Cristiano Ronaldo messages?
Yes, a couple on YouTube.
Let's come back with the Cristiano Ronaldo messages.
Okay.
It's old football background. It's the breakfast show with Good Daddy and Good. That combination of radio and
Welcome back in from the quickest of breathers there. You're in the locker room, Smooth 98.1, Love Music, Love Life, 32 minutes past 8 a.m. on a beautiful Monday, rainy Monday morning at the same time. My name is Ayokunmi. Tega Supreme also with us this morning, taking a look at all the great sporting stories. You get to do the same thing as well on WhatsApp and on YouTube. WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981. YouTube, you can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Leave your comments in the chat box. Talking about comments, let me just take one or two here. This is from Kosi Coles, says something like that happened when he went, as Ronaldo went for his agent, George, George Mendez's mom's funeral, because there are interviews of people who died but wanted to take pictures and got photographs of Ronaldo. I'm trying to imagine that you mean that instead of like they were just trying to focus on him, I guess is what they're trying to say. Okay. LK Adoroba says, thank you so much, Tega, for that analysis. I thought I was alone about Ronaldo's behavior being reprehensible. People drew reference to LeBron not attending Kobe Bryant's funeral for the same reason, and both, as far as I'm concerned, are wrong. And Charles Chidozie says, Tega, it's not about defending bad behavior. Ronaldo was right to have stayed away from the funeral. Like he said, he doesn't want what he didn't want the attention to focus on him. They should let him rest.
We shall
Rick,
not let him rest. We cannot let him rest. Let me tell you, that's what that's why I started my statement with. You cannot distract from a dead person. He's dead. The worst thing that could have happened was that they'll take pictures of you. When he was talking about the agent, he was talking about, I went to my agent's funeral. I didn't want to go to my friend's wedding, so I won't distract from my friend's wedding. Your friend is the groom. He's alive. It's okay. Somebody died. You are the captain of the national team. There is no pardonable reason for you to not attend. What you're telling the rest of the team is that I'm too important or I'm too popular to not go for the thing. That's what you're saying. Because the truth of the matter is, there were people there. There was an entire team there. You could have gone with the Portuguese team. You could have said, okay, I'm not going alone. People will take pictures. It's like when Michael Jordan didn't go for, it's like Michael Jordan saying, I'm going to take from Kobe's shine if I went for his funeral. He went. They took pictures, they took video. He even has a meme now. You remember the Michael Jordan meme? He was
yeah,
crying.
crying meme,
It's
yeah.
now a meme on the, yeah, it's now a meme on the internet. He didn't mind. He had to be there. You are the leader of the national team. There's no excuse. People want to take pictures of you. Let them climb over the walls. The Liverpool squad were there, barring you, Luis Diaz. Nobody knew Luis Diaz missed it until Liverpool fans started getting at him. Anyways, but you are too. It's too inconspicuous of you to have missed it. You're like the elephants trying to hide behind a light pole. Everybody could see you were not there. They're going to talk about it. You're not just Cristiano Ronaldo. You're the captain of the national team. How dare you not go? They're going to take pictures of me. I don't want to distract. How can you distract from a funeral? People are still going to cry. If there's no reason. And now we are talking about you. The exact thing you claim you didn't want to happen. No, nobody should make excuses for him. When he went to his agent's mother's funeral and people were taking pictures, that's what happens. People will take pictures. Your job is to pay respect. It's not to be concerned about people taking pictures. Didn't they take pictures of Annie Slot? Didn't they take pictures of Van Dijk? What are we saying? Did they take pictures of all the Liverpool players? Please don't try me this hot morning or cold morning.
All right, Zega, let's just quickly talk about what happened in Wimbledon, specifically with Carlos Alcaraz.
Oh
He
yes,
yeah, you know,
he had to come back from a set down. Truth of the matter is, a lot of people say that was a test. But even that first set that Rublev won, Carlos Alcaraz was leading by a mini break, and then he served two of the most. He had been serving very well all through the first set, but he now served back to back horrible serves, and Rublev was able to take those points from him. So ultimately, I don't want to say it was a test because it's Rublev. I'm sorry for people that think Rublev is great, but he's He's just one of those guys that can make you work for it, but you will still beat him in the end. That's how that's how he is. So it's when he wins that we are actually surprised. But Carlos Alcaraz is on course so far to do that treble. We are waiting to see. I don't think that he'll be able to do it because of all the other contenders, he's the one that spent the longest on court. Djokovic has spent less time on court. Yannick Sinner even less time on court. Carlos Alcaraz is the one giving people a set and here there. So he has spent the longest time on court. I don't know if he'll still have fuel in the tank by the time they get to the final. I think that's what the big issue is. On the women's side, as usual, more big names have fallen. But the good news is the usual suspects, Sabalenka, is still there. Iga Swiatek is still there. So let's wait and see what happens to those two people.
Yes, indeed. Things heating up at the All England Club. All right, Tega, let us switch gears. We'll come back to football now. Still talking about the WAFCON out there in excuse me, out there in Morocco. And let's quickly touch on.
Can we skip the WAFCON because we kind of comprehensively covered that early? Let's just touch on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the Club World Cup. Let's talk about the Club World Cup in that case. And things are getting very interesting. Real Madrid manager Xabi Alonso said on Saturday that he was looking forward to seeing how his new team measured up to European champions PSG after the side set up a semi-final showdown at the tournament out there in the US.
Oh yes, so Real Madrid. Look, like I said, Real Madrid is playing fantastic. They're playing good football. They're moving the ball very well. They're running at teams. Unlike before, it was a lot more strategic and a slower build-up. Now they are running at pace. Yeah, it's like Xabi Alonso came and he removed the harness from the Real Madrid team. So now they're running without like two puppies running without their harnesses, and it's brilliant to watch. The good news is he's also taken into cognizance that in order for the team to play well, some people will have to sacrifice playing time, and some people may even have to go to London. I'm speaking on Arsenal fans we have now. Let those people, the people I'm talking about. I should mention names. Should I call names?
Mention names. Call
Rodrigo,
them.
go to Arsenal. Let me just tell you now, as the spirit of the Lord is leading you, just be going to Arsenal now if you want to play football.
Arsenal don't want Rodrigo. They want Noni Madueke. You don't want Rodrigo.
They're very disgusting. Just again, like I said, picking through Chelsea's trash. But I'm telling you, Rodrigo, whisper in your agent's ear. Go to Arsenal. That's where you will play football. In fact, you play football safe, you retire. So if you want to play football, if you want your career to grow, if you want to play at the World Cup, move to London. Leave Real Madrid. There's no space for you. Even Gonzalo, what's his name? Gonzalo Garcia. He's playing more football than you have. And he just came yesterday. If this writing is not on the wall by now, I don't know how else to help you. All right? I don't know. So, but the good news is Xabi Alonso knows exactly what his team should look like, and he's playing the pieces very well. They scored brilliant goals. Defensively, I still think the jury is out, and I say it's because of there's a new center pairing, and to take some time for him to decide whether he would go with the experienced and the new signing, or he would just go with the youth and the new signing. I think that's the only confusion in that center pairing. But let's see what he decides ultimately. But going forward, it's a brilliant team. And next up is Real Madrid versus PSG. I can't wait to see how that will happen. Yeah, and PSG side that won a match by 2-0 with 9 men against Bayern Munich. Now, granted, Vice-Own company is not the most brilliant of coaches, but still, 9 men against Bayern Munich. That's a brilliant result.
But take out the same. I think didn't PSG score the 2 goals before the 2 red cards?
No. They scored 1 goal with 9 men. That second goal was with 9 men.
Okay.
And prior to that, they had created 2 clear-cut chances with the 9 men. So I'm not just looking at results, I'm looking at performance. With the 9 men, they had created 2 chances. One was saved by the defender off the line, one was saved by Neuer. before Ousmane Dembele finally converted that with 9 men. That's when they scored that second goal.
WAFCON Company's credentials being called into question once again.
Exactly.
Just all right, and still talking about issues surrounding the Club World Cup. Let's talk about Jamal Musiala. Very unfortunate incident against PSG. He'll be out for a long period after suffering a broken leg and dislocated ankle during Saturday's Club World Cup defeats by PSG.
4 to 5 months. That's what they're saying. So pretty much he's not playing this year, almost. Again, because we're already in July. So if you add 4 to 5 months, we're already talking November, December, which is when they usually go on break. But he's a young man, so I think the healing process will be quick. It's just so unfortunate that this is happening to him after he had that long layoff. And it was the uncanny way it happened. You know, he went for a ball that Donnarumma also went for, but I think the angle he was at and the contact point, and then the fact that Donnarumma leaned a little. I mean, it was not his fault. He's lying on the floor to catch the ball, so of course he's going to lean on the floor. Unfortunately, Musiala's ankle was just right there. I saw from the pictures that it was a dislocated ankle. The broken fibula is the one that I was shocked about. But yeah, I knew it was a dislocated ankle. You could see that the ankle was bent the other way, even from the pictures. So it was shocking. Even Donnarumma started to cry halfway through the match. I was like, thank God it's halftime. And Anthony Taylor did one good thing in his life. He could have added extra minutes for the injury. He just called halftime when he saw the injury because the 45 minutes had already passed straight up, and Donnarumma could go and cry in the locker room because he already had his face in his shirt, you know, and then the Olise had his hand on his head. It was not a good injury, nasty injury, but he would recover quickly. I think 4 to 5 months is a long time, but you know, with all the technology we have these days, it's just that the pain of the injury and the pain of recovery, because there's going to be a lot for him to start putting pressure on that foot again to play. It's a tough one, really tough one for the young lad, but we wish him the best in recovery.
Yes, we wish him all the best. Hope he comes back better than he was before. Hopefully. Before we wrap it up this morning, Tega, let's some transfer news here. Arsenal have signed Spain midfielder Zubimendi from Real Sociedad.
Oh yes, Arsenal have finally done one good signing where they were not digging through SW6. So that's one. I also hear that they're trying to find. Yes, that's my new name for him now is scavenger manager. That's what he is, scavenger manager. But he's also looking to finalize some deals with Sporting Lisbon. So let's see how that pans out for him. If he can get those two signings, then it will be a step in the right direction as opposed to that Noni Madueke that they're trying to buy. Also in the women's Euros, I needed to touch on that because England, defending champions, lost their first match.
Right?
Against the French. They were beaten. It was up until the last maybe 5 to 10 minutes that they came back into the game. They got one goal, looked like they were going to get an equalizer, but they were soundly beaten. And now they're talking about how they can get back together, how there is real leadership in the team and all of that. It's going to be tougher because they're in the group of death, literally. It's England, France, Netherlands, and then Wales. So when they are not playing some of the top teams in the world, they are playing a local rival. That just makes it a lot tougher. So let's see how they can how the defending champions can come out of the group. On that note, let's take your messages and hear what you have to say.
All right, let's
Defenders of the universe.
Man, they've lined up like traffic on Third Mainland during rush hour. Okay, where do I begin? This is Michael. Okay, this is Michael Adetutu says that's a very fair and balanced perspective. Public figures like Ronaldo inevitably attract a lot of media attention, and in sensitive moments like funerals or national mourning, their presence, though well-intentioned, can shift focus away from the solemnity of the occasion. Grieving moments should ideally remain about the person being honored and the collective loss being experienced. There are some notable players that didn't show up, but singing out Ronaldo becomes less about genuine concerns. Well, I think you mean
who is a notable player that didn't show up? The only person that did not show up on the team, I think it was Luis Diaz, and he was partying. He's
Was
not
Salah there?
notable. Salah was there.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if I
Salah
saw
flew
him or
into
not.
Salah flew into London almost immediately. Luis Diaz didn't. And people are piling on Luis Diaz. We didn't even know because in the scheme of things, Luis Diaz. Really. But Cristiano Ronaldo, again, like I said, it's not just because he's popular. He's the captain of the national team. And you now have a fallen hero. How dare you not show up?
Okay, let me take some more messages. Let me see if I can get through all of them. This is Fred says, Tega, did you just urge Rodrigo to come to Arsenal? Hey, this week goes sweet too. Tega has supported us for once. So
I'm trying to help my brother. I'm trying to help my brother. If he wants to play football, just go to Arsenal. You will play, you will tire.
Fred says Fred said you get bad bounce, original worry, babe. Well. Larry from the abroad says drama everywhere yesterday. F2 had already finished under safety car with plenty drama when F1 said I can do better. Bad strategy from Mercedes, silly choices from Oscar, a gifted win for Lando, a well-deserved podium. Hulk almost had it, Ferrari and Lewis. Surprise performance, Gasly. What a race, loved every moment of it. Okay, let me see if I can squeeze some more in. This is Mohammed. Mohammed says, Tega, yeah, wait, you okay, I'm not I can't figure out this first sentence here. He says you're just making unnecessary explanations to justify condemning his actions, which shouldn't be condemned. How can you compare Ronaldo to the whole Liverpool team? His celebrity status outshines the whole Liverpool team. Ronaldo will overshadow the whole funeral. Tega, be coming down with your over-analysis. How did you over-analyze? I have said that journalists are really Mohammed.
Which Mohammed, which funeral will he overshadow? First of all, the only thing you saw about the funeral was the outside. The inside was private. Did you see inside the church? The only thing you saw was outside. They kept the funeral private. So what is the drama? People are just making excuses for this person. The truth remains, a member of your team died, and you as the captain of the national team didn't show up. Every excuse you give right now, every excuse is just an excuse. That's all it is. Poor
Okay.
ones, but just an excuse.
Mike says, indeed, I was disappointed by the absence of CR7, the GOAT in
Good
quotes.
score.
No reason to
Good knee.
justify such action. Let me go to YouTube and see if I can take a couple more on YouTube. Richard Denira says that Ronaldo excuse is flimsy. Does it mean he doesn't play home games for the national team if he thinks his presence will cause a distraction? Ibrahim Hassan says,
Exactly. Why does he go to the Euros and the national and the Nations League? Is his presence there not causing distraction?
Ibrahim Hassan
But
says,
he's
Tega
there.
is with Venom this morning on CR7. He says, calm down, Tega, calm down. And Ayon Fedada says, never played for Al Hilal barely 15 hours before Diogo Jota's funeral, far away in the US. Yet he still made it there and was one of the casket bearers, but the national team captain was not there.
Was not there. If look, had it been I know Ronaldo, what's that famous social media audio? Had it been that I know Ronaldo personally, you complete it in your head. On that note, thank you for sending in your messages. We really fast spent time. Thank you for sending your messages. And thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM to listen to the locker room. Whichever side of the divide you stand on, whether you are for Ronaldo or against Ronaldo, whatever side you stand for, make sure you show up and support your people as much as you can this week. And also have a fantastic week, everybody.
All right, Tega, have a fantastic start to your week and see you on Wednesday. Thank you all for the messages and keeping it tuned to the locker room as always. We're back again on Wednesday at 8:15 on the Smooth Breakfast. Meanwhile, the Smooth Breakfast does kick on 9 o'clock. A conversation will be had on Vegas Talks.